Good afternoon on what is a mild, warm and blustery day. It is Wednesday the 27th of October, back in the reading nook with my little friend here. This is Tiddles, he is not ours, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And the bouncing is him, the picture is him getting up onto the table going, yeah, don't talk about me. So, what I'm going to talk about today is the Blue Rose Quick Start from Green Ronin Publishing. It's an introduction to the Age role-playing game of romantic fantasy, which was released for RPG Day 2021, which took place on Saturday the 16th of October. And hopefully you had a friendly local gaming store who was able to support the event, and you were able to go along and pick up something that you found interesting and essentially could play with your gaming group. And if you don't have a friendly local gaming store, go and find one on basically who will do mail order, because there are plenty out there, and they're basically, just because they're not local doesn't mean they're not friendly. For example, Fanboy 3 in Manchester, I want to thank David Salisbury there for putting together a pack of 3 RPG Day releases for me that I can essentially unbox, do an overview of, and discuss in these videos, and then subsequently review. Without his support, I could not do this video or write the subsequent review. Anyway, this is Blue Rose Quick Start into the Greenwood. Okay. In the green shadows of the Parvin world, a wolf goes missing, and our heroes are charged to discover where she might have disappeared to. Journey through these old woods, wild woods, on trail of hope and desperation, where hope offers a way out of a bad life, and some soul-deep bonds, however new, are stronger than that what keeps us mired in the pain of the past. In the name of hope. Welcome to the world of Blue Rose, the game of romantic fantasy role-playing for the adventure game engine, or Age. Contained herein is everything you need to start playing in the kingdom of Aldis, including a summary of the adventure game engine's rules, including introducing you to the basics concepts of Age, the Rye Wolf's Woe, a scenario specifically designed to welcome you and your players to Blue Rose and the world of Aldea, and the Family Night Song, a selection of 9 pre-generated characters complete with interlocking relationships. Blue Rose Age is easy to learn and play, require nothing more but 6-sided dice, writing materials and friends to play with. And of course, Blue Rose, the Age role-playing RPG of romantic fantasy, is available now. So what do I mean by Age? Adventure game engine is a set of mechanics first published with the Dragon Age role-playing game in sort of like 2009, something like that. It's a really simple system. Yeah, don't bite me. Has 3d6, rolls those and adds a skill or stat bonus, basically if you've got them, to get a total. Now, one of those dice is a different colour, and that's the dragon die in Dragon Age. And if you roll doubles on any of the dice, the number rolled on the dragon die generates stunt points which you can spend. Now, originally in Dragon Age, the first box set, it was just combat and spellcasting stunts. But as new box sets came out, there were 3, and then the full rules, the stunts expanded, so you could do communication, exploration, and movement stunts. And general skill stunts as well, and that was greatly expanded with the Modern Age, which you'll find a review. You'll find a review of all the Dragon Age books to date, apart from the very last one, which was the NPC book, and of course the more modern Age, which does basically the modern setting for using the Age rules, and also for things like the Expanse role-playing game. So, it's a really easy system, and it's most basic, okay, and it's great because you get to do fun things with the stunts. You get to do sort of cinematic things. You know, for example, when I was playing in the setting of The Expanse, my detective essentially turned Jackie Chan and was grabbing, but basically throwing bodies all over the place, going up against people with guns and just out fighting them. I made some really good rolls, but that's my experience, and I really like it. Name of the Blue Rose itself is the role-playing game of romantic fantasy. So it's got an emphasis upon relationships and interaction between the players and NPCs, rather than necessarily combat. Combat is still in there, but it's the emphasis that has been switched over. And it's also a positive role-playing game in that it accepts all genders and sexualities in there as well. So what have we got? We open up, and it's got a great artwork, and essentially you get inside and it says, what is this, what's included, what else do you need, and it's got a guide before, you know, if you've never role-played before, and what to expect before you start role-playing, before it dives into the genre and gives you some background. So what is romantic fantasy? So, you know, basically it's best described essentially, if you read anything by Mercedes Lackey, then most of that is romantic fantasy. You know, Guide to the Nation of Aldous, and again, nice artwork. You know, it's very pretty artwork, I think, essentially capturing that sort of like romantic ideal of a fantasy world. And then we've got a bigger map of the world of Aldea. Again, nice and bright, easy to read. And I think what I like about this booklet is the production values are really high. It's probably the highest of all of the releases for Free RPG Day in 2016. It's also probably the thickest, coming in, you know, not quite sure, probably 50-60 pages, something like that. Oh, it's hold on. Yeah, 50-60 pages, something like that. And also the fact that it's also the sturdiest because it has a card cover. So we've got a description of what essentially the mechanics of doing tests and generating points for stunts and how they handle combat, and then talents. And talents essentially allow characters to do amazing things to start off with, and then they get better and better. And then essentially got a list of the talents and the arcana, which is the magic there. Again, simply laid out, you know, basically a page each, all you need for the quick start. And then we get into, there's a bit more for the art. Okay, you've got 2 pages there. And then perhaps that could have been a bit easier if they'd done that on a 2-page spread rather than a basically over the page. But anyway, that's by the by, really. Then we get onto the stunts. So that's things like essentially, if you've got a missile weapon, you can spend 1 stunt point to immediately reload a missile weapon, or essentially a dual strike allows you to your attack is so strong it affects 2 targets. And then we've got exploration stunts in here, role-playing stunts and arcane stunts. Essentially, the players kind of need to have those out in front of them because they'll be consulting them all the time. Now, in play, you kind of got to get used to that. The idea, okay, what am I going to do with these stunt points? Oh, I don't know. And sometimes I think in something like Modern Age, you've got a lot of options. Here you've got fewer, and therefore it's a lot easier. And then, you know, just basically within 20 pages of the rules, that's background explained. We get into the start of the adventure, we've got background with summary, we've got a shot of the missing wolf, which you've seen on the front cover. And essentially we've got a description to the various NPCs you'll encounter when you get to the village. Of course, there's always a village in this sort of thing, where you'll get information, you'll find the missing boy, you're looking for a missing boy, and how's that connected to the wolf, and you have to go out to the woods. And the adventure itself runs to just 14 pages. The rest of it is devoted to the Family Night Song, which is a group of ready-to-play characters. So they're all first level Blue Rose characters, suited for use for immediate play. And we've got a Night Song constellation family relationships. So you know, basically whether or not they're close friends, parent and child, lovers, loving marriage, parents and child, and so on, protective, and so on. So that ultimately sets everything up. And I think that's the sort of thing, essentially, it comes pre-packaged. When you sort of pick up something like this, that's the level of buy-in. And then each character has got a 2-page spread like this. So complete background, explanation is essentially you've got personality, goals, calling, destiny, and so on. And again, that kind of figures into the setting as well. Description of the relationships at the bottom, and then the character sheet itself. You'll see the stats are listed there, and they're just sort of numbers between 1, minus, essentially -2 and +3, +4. In general, they can go as high as that, but they're generated on a roll of 3d6. But they it's only the stats, it's only the bonuses that count. Okay, the number doesn't in play, and in that, it's very much like a game that Green Ronin published in the early 2000s, in the early ones, called True 20, which is a stripped down version of the D20 system, and it used a similar mechanic, and it would go on later to be used in the Age system. And another factor with the True 20 lineage is the fact that it's for Blue Rose originally appeared as a supplement for True 20. Now, the only thing I would say is just a bit disappointing is that none of these player characters are illustrated, but you've got enough of them, so you know. So you have experts, which covers anything from thieves to diplomats, that sort of thing. Basically, more skill-based characters, warriors, adepts who handle magic, and essentially magic is in general can be seen as you can become a priest and heal and that sort of thing, or you can do sort of like the wizard option, and that's similar, but it uses similar mechanics, but basically different flavoured magic. It's all down to the player, but there's a good mix of characters in here, and then of course at the end we've got you've got everything that you need to go further beyond. So obviously you've got an advert for the core rules, dice set, narrator's kit, which is basically GM shields, and basically a supporting pack of information from the scenario, that sort of thing. A guide to Elder City of the Blue Rose, and then 6 of Swords and Envoys to the Map, which are a couple of adventure booklets, basically scenarios. And then we actually have fiction as well, and that's from Niasba Press. So you can really delve into this if you want to. And then there's not. I mean, I'm gonna say there's a decent amount of support for it. You know, and there's a lot of content in the core rulebook as well. So that's the Blue Rose Quick Start, available from. Basically, you'll be able to download this from Green Ronin, or hopefully it'll be available on Drive Through RPG as well. And I'll put a link into both of those down below. And I'll have a review of this in due course when I've worked through all the other free RPG Day titles as well. So, thank you again for watching another video from basically here in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll basically be let know there's another video from me where I'll have a book or a game that I've unboxed or unpackaged, and we'll discuss to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. And sometimes not, by a cat who is not ours, whether that video is of another title for free RPG Day, or one of my normal unboxing videos, which I do on a regular basis, as long as the postman keeps delivering. Please do hit that subscribe button. Okay, lastly, thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook, or an RPG Day Now overview. Bye for now.